Light FM.
Hey, I'm Christine Nagy from The Morning Show, Bob and Christine on Lite FM. Bob is out of town meeting his granddaughter, which is like a really good excuse not to be here, so we'll let him fly. But he's very disappointed because one of our favorite guests is here in studio this morning. Haley Reinhart joins us. Hi, Haley.
Hey, hi, guys.
And welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back with you.
It's so good to see you. Last time we saw you, you performed a song for us off of your upcoming album, which is now your new album, which is out there for the world, Lo-Fi Soul, which is taking off on the charts already, right?
Thank you.
Doing incredibly well. So so tell us how you're feeling. This is so excited. This just happened last week, this album release.
Yeah, it's still super fresh. I'm really excited to be out here in New York and, finally talk to so many different people about what's going on. And I was actually telling the ladies I was like down and out with the flu. So like this is kind of like my first day of feeling like myself again.
Are you
I'm,
okay?
like able to actually celebrate and
yes, and talk.
That's talk
important.
to people.
Yeah, I had something 2 weeks ago that wiped out my voice, which is a nightmare for anybody. For you.
Yeah, either of us.
Yeah.
It's our livelihood.
We can't do our jobs.
Yeah.
So, I was going to ask you about that. We'll just jump into it really quick. Do you have any ritual, any special thing you do to keep yourself strong and healthy? Because now you're going to be touring, so you have got to protect this voice like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I find throat coat and honey and those kinds of things to actually be super real, and ginger, and I'm living like a much more organic life these days, so
Nice.
it feels good. You just gotta, I guess, also just wash your hands and stuff like that.
Yeah, like the basics. Sleep, rest when we
Try
can.
to sleep, yeah.
But there's some artists that we talk to who are like, I'm on vocal rest for the rest of the day. They just,
I wish I could do that.
it's a little hard.
My mom
right?
tells me to do that. She's like, just put tape over your mouth and make it happen.
That's a little extreme, but it would work. And you come from a musical family, so I'm sure your mom's got some great advice for you.
Yeah, she's had to do that before as well, just to
Wait,
make herself
tape
stop.
her mouth?
Totally. Like, she's told me that was a real thing.
Oh, wow.
Probably many moons ago, but she's been singing since she was 14 in the clubs, and so I do take her advice.
So you were born into this.
Yeah.
And your sound, to me, you have this beautiful old Hollywood jazzy sound, but it's also modern and pop. You hit so many different levels. And how would you describe it?
Thanks. I think you pretty much hit it on the head.
Yeah.
Mixed with a little soul and rock and roll.
Yeah.
I'm trying to I think I nailed it with this record more than ever, of just getting those points across, just having the mixture of all those genres finally come together where I could still appeal to the older crowd that I know and love, and also have a new crowd of the younger generation going like, hey, it's old but it's fresh, and they could still totally apply themselves to it and connect to the music.
Absolutely. Your writing is beautiful too.
Thanks.
You write a lot about love and from a good place. It sounds to me like from a good place.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, totally. Probably half and half.
Half and half. Yeah. Life experience though. That's
Yeah.
where like our greatest art and creation comes from, I think.
Totally.
Those ups and downs and having to go through it. And that's what we relate to so much when we hear your music.
Yeah, it's a vulnerable place to be, and it's you have to shed that side of yourself and show. For me, really, this record, I wanted to show all the personalities that I have, just all the different shades of who I am as a person, as well as an artist. But yeah, those things are so. I had songs from like 8 years ago even that I've just been waiting to put on this album. Like, I've just been waiting for this time to really, paint this certain picture that has all these colors.
I'm so glad that you did that. Your sound, as I said, is very, very unique. And I think you have to be really strong and confident to stand by that, to know who you are and put that music out there and not try and, I don't know, mold into something. I don't know if anybody's ever done that to you in your career, but wanted you to go a certain direction. And you're like, no, this is who I am.
Oh, yeah. They're always doing that. And that's why it's really nice to put this record out fully independent. And I'm just so ecstatic because even though it was crazy work, I'm not gonna lie. It's so rewarding. It's that much more rewarding, and I feel like super prideful of the work I've done. And I have a great team surrounding me, but just kind of nixing out the label part this time around
Hmm.
was a learning process that I never knew I would, experience. I've already learned a lot, I feel, and there's always room to grow. So this has just been like an incredible time for growth for me.
I think with this experience, if you ever wanted to, I'm not saying that you would, but then you could help and produce other artists because you have just learned so much.
Yeah, a couple of people are saying that to me, and I thought that this was just like a little idea bubbling in my own
Hmm.
head. But I really, something about that just is calling me, and it's probably a little bit of ways down in the future.
Right.
But I put Reinhart Records down, and that has a nice ring to it.
Nice.
So yeah, I think being an artist, there's so much more we have to offer if we want. So, and I also do voiceovers and different things. So I think it's just really important to branch out and do all the things that call you as an artist and as a creative person in general.
I see that in your photos too. You've got
Oh, thanks.
great pictures, Instagram or any of your social. And again, you do these different genres. I love how you look old Hollywood, but still modern, and sometimes like really 60s or really 70s. Is that coming from you as well?
Yeah, I'm collaborating with people that I really admire, and even like the full album artwork. Uh, Dana Tripp. It's just I look to the people that I know we have similar vibes,
Hmm.
and then I bring in a bunch of wardrobe because my place is basically one big closet,
Nice.
and I'm like, okay, I can finally put this to use back in from the 90s or whatever. So I hold on to things and find the right times, but I that's like my favorite part of it all is the creative
Yeah.
and everything from the photo shoots to the treatments for music videos. I just absolutely love to dive in and like just get super detailed. And a lot of times I've in the past had to pull it back or people have dumbed it down. And this time around, I'm like, I'm not compromising.
Good.
And I feel like that's how, just across the board, that's why I feel so proud and have gotten probably my most favorite, work out of it.
Yeah. So how do you, I don't say want us, but what is the feeling you want us to take away from Lo-Fi Soul from your new album?
Um, I feel like I want you to experience like familiar feelings and also like something that you can't quite put your finger on. So I kind of want it to create a nostalgia. And coming from a time before growing up thinking like, was I born in the wrong time?
Hmm.
Like, what am I doing here? Like I wanted to be back with the Hendrixes of the world and the
Mm.
Joplins, and but then, I grew up a little bit and I'm like, okay, this is my time now to kind of just bring those pieces of yesterday here and also keep it new. And so, yeah, I think that I want people to feel all of those time, like a timeless factor. And also, I don't know, just be able to connect to it on a level where it can make them laugh, cry, smile, all
You
those things.
hit all the emotions on this album, don't
Thank
you?
you. I tried,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's how, and you said before, like you've got a team of people. Just in general, how do you find your people? How do you find the right musicians, the people that are best for your team?
Um, Musician wise, it's always been a blessing. I have at this on this tour, some of them are like really good friends of mine, and two guitarists. I'm super guitar crazed, so yeah. I mean that you just have to look for me at least for people that are super versatile, and I want to be able to do rock and roll and then flip the switch and do something more on the jazzy end, and go full on soul Motown. So people just have to be that dynamic enough to be able to flip a switch and go to these different genres and places.
I think there's a lot of great talented people who are looking for those opportunities, who don't
Yeah,
want to be pigeonholed. So it's wonderful that you're giving people an outlet, for us to hear it, for musicians to play with you. It's
that's really cool to hear.
yeah,
And when I work with producers to musicians, a lot of people will say, like, I never get to do this or I never get
yeah.
to do that. And I freaking love that reaction. Like, that's part of why I do this. I'm like, oh, good. Like, I'm letting you I'm letting you soar
Yeah.
and you're letting me soar. It's a good feeling.
So what's the vibe at your shows then?
Well, we'll find out because
Just
the
getting
first one
started.
is tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And yeah, and it's a totally every tour, going out with a new record is so different. So the last one was like completely dedicated to the '60s, and that was cool and groovy and all those things. And this one's about to be super heartfelt and like raw and emotional and rockin'.
And
It'll
you're
be
going to be
fun.
City Winery is a great venue.
Yeah, I have not
Yeah.
done it before, and
You're going to love it.
it's more, I was doing most of the time when I'm here, I've done like Gramercy theater and stuff, so it's more on the intimate side, and I'm really excited to get super intimate with the crowd.
Yeah. That I would love to see you at a place like that. You're also going to be out in Bayshore April
Yeah,
6th, UMCA Bolton Center for the Performing Arts.
yeah,
So that's going to be wonderful. And then I guess we lose you in the New York area for a while. We got to let you go.
yeah.
You have to come back
I know
around
I'll
at
have
some
to come
point.
back.
Swing back around because
Yeah.
I think this is going to be incredibly successful for you. Is there a favorite song? Is there a song off the album that you wanted to talk about that has special meaning for you?
Um, Man, I mean, there's a lot for different reasons. I think just Lo-Fi Soul, the title track, really has, had a really warm, big place in my heart, and I've held on to it for maybe 4 years or so now,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, and
Wow.
finally just found the right place for it and to make it the theme of everything.
Mm.
So yeah, it just kind of paints a story of my life and my way of thinking and just perhaps living having lived other past lives and met a love back then and continued to find them in the present day, and it's just a love story
It
that's
is. It's
unique.
beautiful. It's a
Thank you.
beautiful song. Also, as I said last time you came to see us, you played Don't Know How to Love You, which was
Yeah,
incredible.
thank you.
Just beautiful. And I just see in one of your interviews, you talk about the song Honey, There's the Door,
Mhm.
where you're kind of bold in this
Uh-huh.
song. So if somebody doesn't treat you right, bye-bye.
Yeah, it sounds like super soft and
Yeah.
very light, and those are kind of some of my favorite songs in the world and to create because they kind of just have that cheeky undertone where you're like,
I
oh,
like
and
it.
then you listen to the words and it's like, yes, I love you, but you better keep your act straight, or else you're
That's
out the door.
good. Is that true to you in real life?
Oh yeah,
Good.
yeah, definitely. You gotta know your worth, and
Hmm.
yeah, I've always been very adamant about knowing what I deserve in this life, and I feel like a lot of young women and people in general should, feel that way.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great message. So
Thank-
thank you so much. So Haley Reinhart, the new album is Lo-Fi Soul, available absolutely positively everywhere, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Or we can go to your website because I'm gonna make sure we
Yes.
get tickets to your shows too. So is that the best place to go for
Yeah,
tickets?
HaleyReinhart.com/tour. You could definitely get, no scalper tickets. Go there.
We want to, yeah, we want to go straight to Haley. So Haley,
Yes.
thanks so much for coming by again. You look beautiful. The album's fantastic.
Oh, my
Hope to see
pleasure.
you in concert. Thank you.
Thank you.